have to do. What?
We got disconnected for some reason. Just wait till everyone comes back on.
Bye-bye.
We got disconnected for some reason. So let's give it one more minute. Let everyone get back on. Okay. Okay, good. Looks like everyone's here. All right. So again, we were talking about how we were slaves, we were avadim, and that means that we were people who nobody cared about. We looked like subhuman. People could do whatever they want to us. We had no significance. Our lives didn't matter at all, and so we were worked and worked and worked, and then when Hashem took us out, He made us important to Him, and we'll talk about that today. What that means, how that works. Hey, come here. So, and at the point of the Seder is that we're going to experience it. We're going to feel it. We're going to make ourselves feel what it feels like to be a slave. That get into that mindset of how maybe what it feels like to not be important, and then at the end of the Seder, we're to come out feeling like the most important in the entire world, and that this type of slavery as well, helps to make us into a people, into a nation. That when we have that outside pressure, it creates unity. It brings us together. We join together, and we become something together instead of just being disconnected and strangers to each other. So, sorry about that.
Why did the
Enough.
chicken cross the road?
Okay. So, sorry about that. All right. So, we talked about how Gullus, how being in exile, makes us into a people, and that being one of the promises of Hashem to Abraham on how we'll be a Jewish people, how we'll stay together through those outside forces, and that's important to build us as a Jewish people. But once we're in that situation, we're becoming not just some people, we're becoming Hashem's people. So at the same time that this is going on, it's when Hashem comes and saves us and takes us out of that He's going to show us that we're not just some people, we're His people. And that being His people is not only very important, it's the only thing that really gives us meaning as a people, makes us special as a people. If not for that, if not for Him taking us out, for what He did for us, we would just be like any other people. And is what we do really so important? Are we really so important? So the next part of the Haggadah, if you look at the next part of the Haggadah, it talks about now how Hashem, we cried out to Hashem, and Hashem heard us. He saw, right? By Nitzak El Hashem Elokei Avoseinu. We cried out to Hashem, God of our forefathers. The Yishma Hashem es Koleinu. Hashem heard our voices. Vayaras Elneinu. He saw our affliction. Ve'es Amalenu. Our burden. Ve'es Lachatzeinu. The oppression that we were under. So He saw all the things that were going on against us, and He took note. That goes to V'nitzak El Hashem Elokei Avoseinu. It took note of everything that was going on, that the Mitzrim were doing to us. It wasn't just He noticed that we were in trouble. He took note on every little thing that was going on to us. And in what we're going to see with the Makos, what happened with the Makos, each makkah was to correspond to something else that was done
Get
to
to
us.
the other side.
And then we start, so after that, then we say, V'yotzeinu Hashem miMitzrayim b'yad chazaka, v'zon atiyah, v'mar gadol, v'osos v'mosim. Then we start to talk about how Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim, and we get into the Makos, and we get into everything that was going on. So,
Hi.
say hello. So we're getting into the Makos and how Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim. And what is this telling us? What is this? This is the part where we soon. This is the part where we go from being not important to being the most important. And that's done through the Makos and through what Hashem does to the Mitzrim. So how does that work? How does that show us? How does Hashem going and doing all these Makos and all these amazing things?
Nobody's here,
How does that
Papa.
show us?
Nobody's here.
Yeah, they're there.
What?
They're there. You can't see them. Look, they're right there.
The tail?
Yeah, the two. The two. So how does that show us? How does all the Makos and everything that Hashem did for Mitzrim, how does that show how much Hashem cares about us? And how does that tell us that we're important to Him? Let's see if anybody can give a suggestion. Or we can ask a second question with it. That kind of will help answer that first question. And that is, why didn't Hashem just take us out? Why did He have to do it with all the Makos and the crazy miracles that He did? Why didn't He just take us out? Okay, torture them. Okay. Why is it important that He torture them? Why is that important? And how does that show that He cares so much about us through torturing the Mitzrim? It's definitely funny. Yes. The Makos are very funny if you're not a Mitzri. If you're a Mitzri, not so funny. If you're a Mitzri, is it very funny? So not so funny if you're a Mitzri, but if you're a Jewish person, it can be pretty hilarious. Yes. But why is the Makos and why do frogs jumping everywhere, including inside people? How does that show us that Hashem cares about us? How do Makos show us that Hashem cares about us? It's doing the Makos and hurting the Mitzrim, as funny as it is. How does that show how much Hashem cares about us? No. Okay, great. So let's talk about it. We're going to give another story. Let's give another story. So, let's say you're at school. You go to school, you love school. It's fantastic. Every day you go, you got the biggest smile on your face. You're ready for a great day. And you've gone, maybe you're in okay. Let's just, for the sake of the story, say that you like school. And you've been going for many years now, and now you're in 5th grade. And there's something new going on in school. There's a bully, someone who's bullying you in school. Every day you come to school, again, he's a big bully. He finds you in the playground, he beats you up, calls you names. He's really making life very difficult. You're scared to go to school. And after a little while, your parents notice that you don't like going to school, but you've always loved going to school. And so they ask you, what's going on? I see you don't like going to school. Can we help you with anything? Is it the schoolwork? Is it too hard? Do you need help? What's going on? And finally, you get the courage and you tell them what's going on. You tell them that there's a bully in school, and he's hurting you, and you hate going to school. You're scared to go to school. It's terrible. So your parents say, well, that's not good. You can't have that. We need you to go to school. We pay money for you to go to school. We want you to have a good time. We want you to learn. We want you to have the great time they used to have. So they go to the school and they go meet with the principal. They say, we got to solve this problem. We have to solve the problem. Bully with my son, my daughter being bullied. We're going to solve the problem. They talk about it, and your parents say, we know how we're going to solve it. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to take you out of the school you're in. We're going to put you in a different school where that bully isn't in. And that way, the bully problem will be solved. So, if this was you, how would you feel about this solution for the problem? Taking you out of school, putting you in a totally different school to solve the problem. How would you feel about that? Does that solve the problem? And if so, but how do you feel about it? What do you say?
Where are you, Hashem?
How do you feel about your parents solving the problem by just putting you in a different school? Anybody? No good. Okay, why not? Why is that not good? Look, the bully's not bothering you anymore. It should be good. New school. Let's say that school has absolutely no bullies. They know there's no bullying there, so they move to this other school. Why don't you feel good about that?
Yeah?
What's wrong with that solution?
Is that the only thing? What?
Okay. You wouldn't know anybody in the other school. Okay. So maybe all your friends are at the other school. So moving you to that school means you have to leave your friends, your teachers. Maybe you're used to that school and you're used to how things are done. So it's going to be harder for you in the other school. Okay. So which part of the problem is being taken care of when they move you to another school?
Like, are you leaving?
Get me out of it. I'll put them in the back for you.
So when you get moved to another bully,
Oh my
there's the bully
God.
himself. Yeah, bully part. Okay. There's the bully. And then there's another issue. There's how it's affecting you. There's the one being bullied. There's the bully who's causing problems. And then there's no longer being bullied. But it doesn't take care of the bully themselves. It doesn't take care of the bully. And it also doesn't show you that maybe your parents, maybe you don't feel like they were cared about you enough. Because, yeah, I get moved and the bully stops bullying me. But nobody stopped the bully. And nobody kind of got back at the bully for the things that he's done. He gets to walk away free.
I'm just gonna leave him here all day.
He gets to walk away from what he's done and doesn't have any sort of punishment or any sort of consequences for the things that he's done. So nobody takes care of the bully. The bully gets to just go on as he's been going, never being taught a lesson.
Yeah, but look
And
at
that's a bit of a wrong towards you, because if the bully is allowed to continue to do what he's doing, then it means how you are feeling about it doesn't really matter, right? Right, so you just had a problem with
Hi.
getting pushed over.
Hi.
That's your problem.
Hi, hi. I got baby straws.
No baby straws. So it's, right? The problem was you, because for some reason you don't like getting pushed over and you don't like getting called names. So we took care of you by moving you to a different school, right? Because we don't really care if there's bullying. That's fine. You had a problem for some reason, so we moved you. Okay. So it that doesn't help you feel any better about yourself. That doesn't help you. You're still gonna feel terrible. You're gonna feel like maybe you weren't important and people can just push you around. No one's standing up for you. That's really what's going on. When we just move you to a different school, doesn't show me that someone stood up for me. Now, let's go back in the story. Let's say instead of moving you to school, they come back and your parents say, we thought about it, we talked with the principal, and we have a plan. We're going to take the bully, and we're going to make an example of the bully. We're going to have him march in front of the school every day in his underwear or something like that to embarrass him.
What is underwear?
Yeah, to make him feel, to teach him a lesson. Maybe we'll suspend him. Well, every time he bullies somebody, he has to clean up their garbage for them and feed them lunch, or he has to be a chair for them at lunch or something, or everybody gets to throw dodgeballs at him during recess for an hour. Okay, maybe something like that, or he has to wash everybody's hands after they go to the bathroom. I don't know, some crazy. You can come up with something. And that's going to take care of the bully. And you get to stay in your school, get to stay with your friends, and we get to take care of the bully that way. If we do it that way, we show that you are important, we care about you, and we're not going to let somebody hurt you, and not let somebody step all over you.
How long was going to be on there for?
And instead, the bully's going to get the consequences. He's going to get what he deserves. I'm going to show that type of behavior and that type of action that they've been taking against you, we don't stand for that. We don't like that at all. So this is what was going on. Let's go back to Pesach and Mitzrim. This is what's going on when it comes to Jewish people in Mitzrim. Mitzrim are the bullies. They're doing all sorts of things to the Jewish people. And when Hashem comes and he pays attention to every little thing that they've been doing, it's like, well, the bully today, he threw mud in my face. Okay. So part of the punishment we're going to do to the bully is we're going to throw mud in his face. One day he tripped me in the hall. Okay, we're going to send the bully running down the hall and trip the bully. As Hashem pays attention to each and everything that they did, shows us more and more that Hashem cares about us so much more because he paid attention to everything, and he's going to make sure the bully gets paid back for every single thing that they did. So when we go through the Agada, we see things like we go through the Makos, we talk about, we go through Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Akiva and how they increase the numbers, right? The numbers get more and more and more. They're elaborating on how many Makos there were. We go through Dayenu, right? And it would have been enough if Hashem had just taken us out of Mitzrayim, but he did all these other things. It's a whole list of many, many things that he did. And we increase and talk more and more and more about how much Hashem did for us. And we spend time at the Seder each and every Makkah. Going through each and every Makkah to go through as many details as
What
possible.
is Makos in the house? What is Makos in the
To
house?
go through each and every detail. Because the more we talk about it, the more we realize how much Hashem paid them back, the more we realize how much he cared about us and how much we matter to him, and so how important we are. Because it's one thing to just be some people that gets sent out of the land, but that doesn't help with how you feel and psychologically, how you see yourself as being important or not. But when you know that the creator of the universe has taken note of every little thing that happened to you, and then he's going to pay it back to those Mitzrim, every single thing, you are so important to him. He cares so much about you. We are so important. So the more we elaborate on that, the more important and great we feel that we are.
Who's there?
and then
What?
that leads us to saying thanks to Hashem.
Someone here.
And to really realize that it's that importance. It's the importance that we have from Hashem, how Hashem sees us, that makes us so important. And the ultimate form of being important to Hashem is being able to interact with Him, to connect to Him, to relate to Him, to be in a constant relationship with Him. And that can only be done by having a Torah. So as we said in the beginning, the whole purpose of Mitzrim, of Yetzias Mitzrayim, of being taken out of Mitzrayim and Pesach, was also that we can go and we can get a Torah, because it's the ultimate expression of how much Hashem cares about us and how significant we are to Him, and so how important we are in terms of the whole world, in terms of everything. Okay? All right. So that concludes the first part. That concludes the first part today. And let's do the second part. We asked last time that you need to recline during the Seder. We need to be leaning. Okay? Leaning. We asked, which way do we lean? And we left that up. See who gets the answer. Which way do we lean at the Seder? Which way do we lean at the Seder?
Put them back.
Do we lean forward? Do we lean backwards? Do we lean the right, the left? Which way do we lean?
The right.
The life? Which way do we lean? That way? That way?
Yeah.
That way? Which way do we lean?
This way.
See if anybody knows. This way?
Yeah.
Which way do we lean? Okay, to the left. Excellent. We lean to the left.
Okay.
We lean to the left. Why do we lean to the left? Who knows why we lean to the left?
Oh, we were watching that game. Yeah? We were watching.
Why do we lean to the left?
I know. The game is cool.
Your left. Yes. So we lean to the left because your food pipe is on the left and your windpipe's on the right. So if you lean to the right, the food might go down your windpipe and you're going to choke. So we lean to the left because we have to lean on Pesach night. We have to lean at the Seder. Okay. So we have to lean at the Seder because leaning was a sign, or reclining is a sign of great wealth, great importance. Kings and queens recline, they lie down, or they used to lie down and eat on like couches. So to show that we're free, that we are important people like kings and queens. Again, importance, not so much like free, because
Hi,
a
friends.
slave doesn't
Hi.
free. He doesn't
Hi.
it's that we're kings and queens.
A queen.
And we're like significant, important people.
And I am a queen.
Therefore, we also lean just like they would lean. They would lie on couches when they would eat. Like maybe you've seen those, maybe like in paintings, old paintings, or like we're lying on the couch and the grapes in the air, right? So we all lean like that as well to show that we are important people, we're significant people. And we don't lean, so since we have to lean, which way do we lean? Well, we lean to the left, because the left is going to be our esophagus. That's where the food goes down from the mouth, down the esophagus into the stomach. Okay, so we don't want to choke, so we lean to the left. And we're going to lean. You've got to lean by each cup of wine. There are 4 cups of wine that you have to drink and drink from, and you lean to the left each time you drink them. And there's 2 types of matzah.
Drinking
There's 2 types of matzah we're going to eat. We're going to eat one matzah, that's the matzah of slavery. So we won't lean. Like the matzah of like, it's just food that anybody can eat because we're insignificant people. Then there's going to be the korech, the sandwich, and that we eat where we're free, and the afikoman, the matzah that was made when we were rushed out because Hashem just wanted to take us out of there so quickly. And that one of significance is where we're going to lean. We're going to lean for that one because you're important. Hashem cares about us. We're super important to Hashem. All right, so that ends it for today. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow. And we'll see you tomorrow. And everybody stay safe.
The only person who's been
Behave,
answering
be
is
well.
her.
And we'll see you soon. Take care.
Why is she the only one answering?